to 2.5% interest. I made a fortune. Every month, more money comes in because my cost of money has gone down. So while some financial experts are saying get out of debt, I'm saying learn how to use debt. See, when I came back from in Vietnam in January of 73, the first thing my rich dad said to me was go to school to learn how to invest in real estate. It wasn't real estate, it was how to use debt and taxes. Debt and taxes make the rich richer. Debt and taxes make the poor and middle class poor. So all the rich guys who are doctors and lawyers or, those guys, they're getting creamed. And they don't know why.
Doctors are getting creamed.
Oh, yeah, they're making more money, but the take home is less.
Sure.
My doctor just yelled at me. He was happy. He says, oh, guess what? I finally made $1 million. And I said, yeah, this was just 3 weeks ago. And so I said, yeah, well, how much you pay in tax? He says, $750,000 in taxes. So his net was about $400,000. That's not bad. But when I make $1 million, I keep $1 million. And the reason is because I don't make it by working for money. See, if you work for money, you're taxed. So that's why lesson number 1 in Rich Dad, Poor Dad is the rich don't work for money. What we do instead is we create businesses as entrepreneurs. We acquire real estate. I don't invest in the stock market. Okay. So the reason is because as entrepreneurs, I have more control over my income, how much I make, and how much I pay in taxes. And because I'm an entrepreneur as well as an investor in real estate, I pay zero tax. So every time I make, let's say, $1 million as an entrepreneur, I immediately invested in real estate. I have a 4-to-1 step up. So I put $1 million in real estate. I get $4 million from the bank. That's why I love banks. But the banks are screwing everybody else. Terrible. But it's good for me.
That's why you say when you print, it's good for you, but when you print, it's bad for people that work for money.
Because when you print, savers get creamed and people who work for money get creamed. When they print, debtors get rich. You see, debt and taxes make the rich richer, and debt and taxes make the poor middle class poorer. When we have obsolete ideas, we get obsolete results. So what's happening for most people, the idea of going to school, getting a job, working hard, saving money, getting out of debt, buying your house because it's an asset, investing for the long term, is obsolete. The world has changed. The world changed in 1971 when President Nixon took us off the gold standard and money became debt.
What if we get rid of school? Then what would happen? Would it be better if we had no educational system at all?
No, I'm saying education is more important before. It's just obsolete. There's Moore's Law which states information doubles every 18 months. In other words, everything's obsolete 18 months. So, and this is just a recent phenomenon. So when you come out of school, you're already obsolete. And that's why I'm the old guy, I meet my friends who went to Harvard. I went to Harvard. I said, yeah, that was how long, 50 years ago? Today, the banks are charging you interest to save money. In other words, banks don't want your money because they printed too much of it. And that's why there's these bubbles in stocks and bubbles in real estate and all this. People are dumping the cash. Because as I said in here, savers are losers and cash is trash. And yet people, I want a high-paying job. Well, that's an obsolete idea. Get out of debt is an obsolete idea. You should learn how to get into debt, how to use debt to get rich. And they'll never teach you about taxes. The reason the 1% is way up here and the 99% are going this way is because when you print money, 2 things happen, inflation and taxes. It's crushing it. And any entrepreneur thinks, I'm just going to make money, I'm going to start a business and make a lot of money because of what we talk about. They really have got to smell the roses, man. That's not what the real entrepreneurs are doing. Most entrepreneurs, there's 28 million small business owners in America. 24 million are what are one-person entrepreneurs. They're called non-employee entrepreneurs. So and that's what happens is when people don't really understand what an entrepreneur does. So most big people are self-employed, but they're not really entrepreneurs. The self-employed pay the highest taxes of all, and nobody tells them that. Yeah, it's also called the entrepreneurial spirit. But what we were actually talking about was there's no such thing as a bad economy. There's the external, you and I, we all have an external economy, but we also have an internal economy. And the willpower is to change our internal economy. So for me, I can see the good and I can see the bad. I don't really give a damn because I'm going to be rich anyway. But a poor person with a poor personal economy, all they're going to see is a bad economy because they don't know how to make money in any economy. And a middle class person, they have a middle class economy. What they want is a nice house and a steady paycheck and the job and the car. And so when you take their job away, to them, that's disaster. Well, since an entrepreneur doesn't have a job anyway, it's no big deal. So all I'm saying to people is what Bucky Fuller taught me, there's always two sides, you know what I mean? Unity is plural, at minimum two. So if you think the economy is bad, it's because your economy is bad. If you think that steady, employment is important, then you'll see an economy without jobs. Your economy versus the external economy.
Where you control versus where you can't control.
I can control. Yeah, it's called an internal focus versus an external focus. So the real entrepreneur has an internal focus. That if they fall down, they say, "Oh, this is good, because I'm going to go up higher." The average person will fall down and say, "Oh, I'm going to take some Prozac," or somebody has a mistake. "Oh, the mistakes don't matter." Well, mistakes matter. It means you didn't know something. But a real entrepreneur, whether they fall down, they always can go up. They can stand back up and go higher. That no matter what happens to them, they get stronger and better and smarter and happier. But a person with a weak internal mindset is that they're so afraid of what happens, it generally happens. Like, people who are afraid of losing their jobs, they generally lose their jobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So everything you can control you.
Yeah, so the entrepreneur first job is to control inside here, not outside there. The moment you take that paycheck, you're an employee. You've got to be stronger than that. It's about inside control.
All right, guys, we're going to get the call started here in 60 seconds. 60 seconds. So get the word out. We're going to take a little quick 60-second setup. Get your pens and papers ready. Grab those books. Grab everything that you need to grab. Let everybody know that the call is live. And I am just super, super thankful to be on this call with each and every single one of you guys. So 60 seconds and let's get the call started. 60 seconds. Let's run it.
So the real entrepreneur has an internal focus. That if they fall down, they say, "Oh, this is good, because I'm going to go up higher." The average person will fall down and say, "Oh, I'm going to take some Prozac," or somebody has a mistake. "Oh, the mistakes don't matter." Well, mistakes matter. It means you didn't know something. But a real entrepreneur, whether they fall down, they always can go up. They can stand back up and go higher. That no matter what happens to them, they get stronger and better and smarter and happier. But a person with a weak internal mindset is that they're so afraid of what happens, it generally happens. Like, people who are afraid of losing their jobs, they generally lose their jobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So everything you can control you.
Yeah, so the entrepreneur first job is to control inside here, not outside there. The moment you take that paycheck, you're an employee. You've got to be stronger than that. It's about inside control.
What's up, familia? Grand Rising, big happy smiles, big cheesy smiles, as a matter of fact. It's a beautiful day for us to grow and for us to get better. It is June 2nd. God bless, God bless, God bless. We are feeling so blessed and so excited to be on this call each and every single day. And I'm just super blessed and super grateful for each and every single one of you guys. I hope you guys are feeling really, really good this morning. I know that things are great and getting better every single day. We expect miracles and we get miracles. Everything always works in our favor. Today is Christmas, and we are just so, so thankful for everything that's happening in our lives. We are just so filled with so much gratitude, so much joy, and just so much fulfillment because it was amazing. And I had a great birthday yesterday. Thank you guys so much for all the love, all the appreciation, all the text messages, the phone calls. The posts, there were just so many. I wish I could repost. I try to repost as many as I could. I literally told myself that I'm going to take an hour today to just sit down and get back to as many messages as I can, because we're talking about hundreds of messages, and that just makes me feel extremely, extremely thankful, to have a family that just shows so much love and is so appreciative of just everything, and those things do not go unnoticed, guys. I want you guys to know that I am so, so thankful for all of you guys and everything that, you guys, all the love that you guys showed me. I was like, just like, wow, man, I'm so, so grateful, because so many people don't get a chance to get that all that love, and you guys were just giving it to me for free, and it just makes me super thankful. So I appreciate it so much. I know some people were asking for the link for that video that I was just listening to. I highly recommend you guys to really listen to that video, because it is a really, really dope video by Robert Kiyosaki, just talking about money and where we're going with it and what's happening with it. But I'm super excited to get started with our call here today. Just before we get started with it, can we put what's one thing that we are grateful for in the chat box, please? What is one thing that we are grateful for? Put it in the chat box. Let's get this call started. I am grateful for God. I am grateful for my family. I am grateful for my mom, my dad, my little brother, my goddaughter Dariana. I'm extremely grateful for the birthday I had yesterday and all the love that I, was filled with. I'm grateful for Katie and everything she set up for me yesterday. Grateful for Hazel. Grateful for my sis Armani, who's here with me. Grateful for the roof over my head. Grateful for the books we get to read. I'm actually grateful for the book The Power of Now. It's really teaching me some really cool stuff right now. It's been a little bit difficult to read, to be honest, but as I it's like I have to read it. I have to reread like every paragraph like 3 times to like really grasp it. So I think this is going to be a book that I take a little bit slower so I can really fully understand it. I'm not going to try to just read right through it. I'm going to really read this book, really study the chapters and the books and everything. I'm grateful for the whole Mornings with Nano community. I'm grateful for the whole entire family and everything that you guys and everything that you guys are about. Grateful for my whole team, all the leaders within my organization, all the success that we are experiencing right now, and everything that's happening for us each and every single day. Let me clean the camera right here. Boom. And I'm just really, really looking forward to life, and I'm just super grateful for the now. Something I've learned from the book is that we got to be grateful for the now, because it's the only thing that matters at the end of the day, right? The now is all that we have. And, there is no future, there is no past without the now. So it's important that we focus on it, and we focus on the now. So I'm extremely grateful for the now. Let's go live right here. Let's get it started. I'm super excited. And today we're going to be talking about the money magnet. Okay. I got to give a huge shout out to Katie for this, because she put me on a while ago. But to train on it, I love to do this training. So, but before we do so, I want everybody really quick. I know you guys see this building behind me, right? All the time. Okay. And yesterday, we just doing research and stuff, and we're on our way to dinner, and we just start talking about the buildings that that are on the strip, and we start looking at Aquilina, which is the one right behind us, and I'm like, yo, I know what the penthouse looks like, but let me see what the rest of the building is going to be like, because it looks like they're almost it looks like they're almost done with it. And I said, yo, let me look this up. And I said, yo, the family needs to see this. So I want you guys really quick, go on your Google Images, go on YouTube, and look up the estates at Aquilina. Do me that favor real quick, because that's literally what they're building right behind us. And I want to have some of you guys as neighbors at this spot. So look up the estates at Aquilina. I just typed it in the chat, the estates at Aquilina. Just look that up real quick, because that's what they're building right here behind us right here. Okay. And I was watching this video yesterday, and I was like, nah, bro, this is my new visualization video from now on, because I was like, wow, this is definitely where. Let me show you guys right now. I got you right now. I'm gonna give you guys the right video. I'm gonna drop the link in here real quick for you guys. Look at this. Watch that video when you guys get a chance, right? Watch that video when you guys get a chance, the one that I just posted right there. So they're literally building this right here as we speak. As you guys can see, they're building it right there. They're building it still. They're still building like the outside part, but I just want you guys to see it, because when you guys see the finished version of it on the video, it's gonna be super dope. So over there, all those red umbrellas over here, that's the resort. Aqualina Resort is the #1 resort in the world. Not actually, is the #1 resort in the United States. Is a 5-diamond resort. Um, and it's known as the world's finest living expense. They have a virtual golf range. Really look that up, like really watch that video and use it as visualization. But because I was wondering, I'm like, yo, like this building behind us. I'm like, yo, this building behind us, I see it. I've been seeing them build it for the last year, but I've never took the time to actually look at it and study it and stuff like that. And I said, you know what, let me look at it. And yo, guys, I'm telling you, this whole time we've been looking at this, and we're just looking at it like, oh, yeah, it's just a regular building. But this building is literally gonna be the world's finest residence in the world. All right, it's gonna be the world's. Yeah, I mean, it's not overpriced. You just gotta have it. You just got to have it. It's crazy. It's a lot of money for sure, because remember, it's the world's finest residence. Remember, they're taking the world's finest marble, the best beds, the best pools, the best people, customer service. You're talking about the best of the best. Like, we're talking about, yeah, white glove service, Angelica. Like, you're talking about some of the most beautiful. You have restaurants. You're gonna have spa service, sauna, movie theater, bowling. Like, you're gonna have your own little world right in here. Like, it's gonna be something incredible. And I'm so grateful that I've been able to watch a lot of it be built while I've been here, because now I get to, like, because if you think about it, look at this, guys. The same beach that the people are going to be living in, if you think about it, right? They're going to be living in this beach right here, right? But my beach is right there. Like, we share the same beach, so it's the same beach that they share. But just living in that building is going to be a little bit different. But I already know the vibration. I feel it. I know the waves. I've been to Aqualina. I've actually ate at Aqualina. Their restaurants are incredible. They got Il Molino in their Italian restaurant, and they have a Kiyu, which is an Asian restaurant. And there's a lot of amazing things happening there. So we'll see. I think they finish it up. A lot of it is going to be finished up by the end of the year. But hey, look, the good thing is that I could live there. If I rent it out, I could live there with $15,000-$20,000 a month, and that's going to definitely going to happen. So who knows? I'm gonna be out here in Sunny Isles. I maybe check out Porsche for a year, Aqualina for a year, Bentley Tower for a year, see which one I like most, and then the one that I like most will be the one that I end up buying, right? Because I'm definitely gonna live on this strip at one point. So no, this is apartments that are attached to a resort. So if you buy an apartment here or you rent an apartment here, you also have access to all the resort amenities as well. Okay, so you'll have access to all the resort things that they have. So you're basically living in a resort, sort of say, because basically where I live is a resort too. It's a different resort. Because I live here, I have access to all the resort amenities that are right next door, right behind me as well. So dope stuff. I just wanted to just show you guys that because I'm like, man, I got to share this with the family on Mornings with Neno, because I know you guys see it all the time behind me, and you guys are probably wondering, like, what building is that? Like, yo, fam, let's make it a goal to be neighbors here on those on this beautiful spot. So if you guys are wondering, look it up, the estates at Aquilina. Watch this video right here, specifically this one, the one I just posted in the chat. Watch that video right there. And you can also, there's another one that you can watch that kind of like breaks down the whole entire thing. It's like a 27-minute video. I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna drop the link for it right now as well, just so you guys can have some visualization and some ideas of, you know, where we're going in life and what we're about to accomplish, right? That's another video right there, right? All wake up in the morning, go meditate together, right? Go to the spas together. You know, man, I can't wait for that. Just really watch those things out. It's gonna be so dope to live there and have that experience for sure. So, but I wanted to share that with you guys really quick because, you know, it's just super beautiful, the fact that, you know, we have that being built right behind us. They're building our penthouses and our apartments behind us right now as we speak. We're just working right now. We're just getting our minds right, and you know, we good right now. So I just wanted you guys to know that they're building our condos behind us. Okay, so be ready because they're building it right behind us. If you guys want to come live in Miami, right? If you want to come live in Miami on the beach, look at who's behind us, right? They're building it right behind us. But let's talk about today's topic, because today's topic is going to play a huge part in us being able to buy this. All right. The today's topic is going to play a huge part in us being able to buy this right here. So, you know, today's topic is called the money magnet. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this, thank you, my brother. The reason why I wanted to talk about this is because, you know, it's something that I feel like I needed when I first read this. It put a lot of things into perspective for me. Now, this book is this chapter is only 3 pages, but I want you guys to just hear it because I feel like a lot of us need to understand this, right? And what it talks about is how to really attract money into your life, how to really, you know, be grateful for money, and how to really put yourself in a vibration to receive money. Okay. And I feel like this summer has to be one of those summers because guess what? Okay. We want to be able to put all of ourselves in a position to create more money, more income for ourselves. So we're going to go into this, and I'm just going to read some things to you guys and then talk about it. This book comes from this book specifically. It's called The Magic, and it teaches you how to be grateful for money specifically, right? So I want to teach you guys this because I remember when I learned this, like my perspective on life, on money, on business changed a lot. So let's go into it, right? So it's called the money magnet, all right? It is said this: it is only with gratitude that life becomes rich. Write that down. It is only with gratitude that life becomes rich. It is only with gratitude that life becomes rich. Listen to this. Gratitude is riches and complaint is poverty. Listen to this. Gratitude is riches and complaint is poverty. It's the golden rule of your whole life, whether it's your health, your job, your relationships, or money. The more grateful you can be for the money you have, even if you don't have very much, the more riches you will receive. And the more you complain about money, the poorer you'll become. That's so important. Just that one specific line right there is so key. This one paragraph. Listen to it one more time. Gratitude is riches and complaint is poverty. We know a lot of people who complain about money. Oh, I don't have money, lack of money. This call is going to hit a lot of people. This book is going to hit, this chapter is going to hit a lot of you guys tough because I remember how it hit me and how I was thinking back then. So just be open to receive the information that I'm about to drop for you guys. Put a 2 in the chat box if you are ready to receive the information that I'm about to drop for you guys. Put a 2 in the chat box. I need you guys to be very intentional with what I'm about to say right here, because I know every single person on this call, including myself, we all need to hear this, okay? We all need to hear this message right here, including Nano. Okay, so I don't want you guys to think that I'm selecting anybody or picking on anybody. This is for all of us on this call, including me. Right? Listen to it one more time. We need to be open and acceptive of this information. Gratitude is riches and complaint is poverty. It's the golden rule of your whole life. The golden rule. It's the golden rule of your whole life, whether it's your health, your job, your relationships, or money. The more grateful you can be for money, the more money you will have. Okay, sorry. The more grateful you can be for the money you have, even if you don't have very much, the more riches you will receive. So what is he saying? Okay, what is she saying actually? What is she saying? She's saying that even if you don't have very much, you got to be grateful for what you have. So even if you only have $100, you got to be grateful for the $100 you have. Okay, so you got to make sure that you guys understand this. All right, and for those who have the book, I'm on page 95. And the more you complain about money, the more poor you become. Now, listen to this. Today's magical practice turns one of the biggest reasons people complain about money into an act of gratitude. And so it has doubled the power to change the circumstances of your money. You'll be replacing a complaint, which makes you poorer, with gratitude, which magically brings you riches. So one of the practices that you can do on a day-to-day basis that can change your situation and how your money is being made is, instead of complaining about money, find yourself being grateful for the money that you already have, even if it's just $1, even if it's just $10. Whatever it is that you have, we must be grateful for it. Okay, listen to this. Most people wouldn't think they complain about money, but if there is a lack of money in their life, they are complaining without realizing it. Complaining happens through people's thoughts as well as their words. And most people aren't aware of the many thoughts in their head. Any complaining, negative, jealous, or worried thoughts or words about money are literally creating poverty. Listen to that. Okay? Listen to that one more time. I'm going to repeat that again from the top. Complaining happens through people's thoughts as well as their words. So if you're thinking about the lack of money, and if you're speaking about the lack of money, okay, understand that you are complaining. Even if you don't think you're complaining because that's what he's saying. He says complaining happens through people's thoughts as well as their words. And listen to this. And most people aren't aware of the many thoughts in their heads. Any complaining, negative, jealous, or worried thoughts or words about money are literally creating poverty. So think about that. Anytime you complain about money, anytime you say something negative about money, anytime you get jealous about someone else making money, or any worried thoughts that you have about your bills coming up or any of this, all of those worried thoughts or words are all literally creating poverty in your mind. And of course, the biggest complaints come when the money has to be paid out. The biggest complaints come when money has to be paid out. So man, I gotta pay the rent. I gotta pay this effing car bill. I gotta buy this. I gotta buy that. That's complaining. That's complaining. I gotta pay the bills. I gotta buy this. I gotta buy groceries. Man, I gotta pay for the cable bill. Right? Listen to this. It's gonna get better. If you don't have enough money, paying your bills can be one of the most difficult things to do. It can seem like there is a greater stream of bills than there is money to pay them. But if you complain about your bills, then what you are really doing is complaining about money, and complaining keeps you in poverty. So if you are complaining about paying your bills, okay, then what you're really doing is complaining about money. And remember, complaining keeps you in poverty. This used to be me. I used to complain about paying the bills. I gotta pay my phone. I gotta pay this rent, bro. I can't believe these people. I would even start. I remember myself, I would be like, bro, how much money are these people making off of me every single month? And I would start calculating, and I'd be like, well, I pay this amount, and on a yearly basis, this is how much money they're making off of me. Like, there's no way, like, nah, bro. And I'm over here complaining, literally complaining about bills until I read this. Yo, I'm telling you guys, until I read this chapter, a lot of things changed for me, right? Because I understood that complaining of, remember, money is energy. So the energy that you put into your money is the energy that you will receive. If you put out negative, bad energy about money, you're only going to receive energy that's going to keep you there. So listen to this. He says, if you don't have enough money, the last thing you would normally do is feel grateful for your bill. But in fact, that's exactly what you have to do to receive more money in your life. You heard that? If you don't have enough money, the last thing you would normally do is feel grateful for your bills. But in fact, that's exactly what you have to do to receive more money in your life. To have a rich life, you must be grateful for everything to do with money. And begrudging your bills is not being grateful. You must do the exact opposite, which is to be grateful for the goods or the services you received from those who build you. It is such a simple thing to do, but it will have a monumental effect on the money in your life. You will literally become a money magnet. So, what he's basically saying is, instead of being so ungrateful for paying bills, be grateful for the goods and the services that paying those bills offer you. Okay, because think about it. If you pay your rent, what does the rent do? It gives you a roof over your head, right? If you pay your cable bill, it gives you access to Wi-Fi, it gives you access to TV channels. If you pay for, your electricity bill, it gives you access to light in your house. Okay. So you got to think about it that way. And that's what he's saying. He says it's better for you to be grateful for the things that these bills are offering you instead of being ungrateful and complaining about the fact that you got to pay them. Now, listen to this. To be grateful for a bill, think about how much you've benefited from the service or goods on that bill. If it's a payment for rent or mortgage, be grateful that you have a home and that you're living in it. What if the only way you could live in a home was by saving up all the money and paying for it cash? What if there was no such thing as lending institutions or places to rent? Most of us would be living on the streets. So be grateful to the lending institutions or your landlord because they have made it possible for you to live in a home or an apartment. I never thought about that. I never thought about it that way. Never thought about it that way. That's so true. Think about it. What if there was never, any institutions that offer places to rent or landlords, and we had to buy the house, we had to buy the apartment? Think about it. Some of our families wouldn't have been able to do it. Immigrant parents, right, that came from another country, all they could afford was a rent. They wasn't going to afford to pay for a full apartment right there and then. And some of them didn't even have the papers. Let's really talk about it. Some of our families didn't even have papers at the time to even purchase things out here. So listen to what he said. He said, what if there was no such thing as lending institutions or places to rent? Most of us would be living on the streets. So be grateful for the lending institutions or your landlord because they made it possible for you to live in a home or apartment. And that's the truth. Now listen, it gets better. She said, if you're paying a bill for gas or electricity, think about the heating or cooling you receive, the hot showers, and every appliance you were able to use because of the service. If you're paying for a phone or internet bill, imagine how difficult your life would be if you had to travel vast distances to talk to each person individually. Think about how many times you've been able to call family and friends, send and receive emails, or access to information instantly through the internet because of your service provider. All of these remarkable services are at your fingertips. So be grateful for them and be grateful that the companies trust you by providing their services before you have paid for them. Wow. Think it's true though. Like, you sit down and think about it. We pay for, like you said, gas and electricity bill, right? Think about all the hot showers we take, all the nice and warm showers we take every day, twice a day, some of us, right? Think about the internet access that you have, that you can use Google, you can use Amazon, you can use all of these different places. Think about all the phone calls you make, the way you get in contact with your family, with your kids, with your leaders. You got to be grateful for that. Some of us complain about having to pay that, but how about you start being grateful for that? Right? Think about it. If it wasn't for you paying your cable bill or your internet bill, you wouldn't be able to be on this call right now, some of us. Unless you were watching this from, another place that had Wi-Fi, but think about how awesome it is that you're able to pay your internet bill and you have access to internet, which allows you to jump on YouTube and jump on Mornings with Nano and have access to have views like this. And think about it. You don't got to pay it till the end of the month. So you get it for free for a whole month before what? You have to pay for it. Listen to this. He says, ever since I discovered the phenomenal power of gratitude, I write the magic words, thank you, /paid, on every bill as I pay it. Think about that. So on every bill he pays, he writes thank you /paid. Thank you /paid on every bill as I pay it. And I never miss a single one. At the beginning, when I didn't have money to pay a bill, I would still use gratitude's magical power, and would instead write across the bill, thank you for the money. Then, when I had the money to pay it, I would add thank you paid. Today, you are going to do the same. Take any currently unpaid bills you have and use gratitude's magical power by writing across them, thank you for the money. And feel grateful for having the money to pay the bill. Whether you have it or not, if you receive and pay most of your bills online, then when you receive an online bill, forward it to yourself as an email and write it in the subject line in capital bold letters, thank you for the money. Now, what he's basically saying is this, is that all those bills you got to pay, look at them as a check that you're being paid. So like my phone bill is like $400 almost, right? Because I pay for me, my mom, my dad, my little brother, right? Instead of me looking at the $400 payment like, man, I got to pay $400, I got to look at it like, wow, thank you for these $400. I am so thankful for this. I am so grateful that I get to pay these $400 in phone payment. I'm so grateful that I get to pay $200 in cable and internet service at my house. I am grateful that I get to pay rent here, right? I am grateful. You got to be grateful for this, okay? He says, next, find 10 bills you've paid in the past and write across the front of each of them the magic words, thank you paid. It's already paid. As you write on each bill, feel as grateful as you possibly can that you had the money to pay the bill. The more gratitude you can harness for the bills you've paid, the more money you will magically magnetize towards you. That's the key. From this day forward, you could make it your regular practice that whenever you pay a bill, you briefly think about the great service you received from that bill. And right across the face of the bill, the magic words, thank you, paid. And then if you don't have the money to pay a bill, use gratitude's magical power and write thank you for the money. And feel as if you're saying thank you because you have the money to pay the bill. Wow. Think about that stuff. You got to be grateful. Grateful. Grateful that I get to pay the bills. Grateful that you get to do these things each and every single day. I don't complain that I got to pay the phone bill. I don't complain that I help my mom and dad with the rent. I get to do those things. I love doing that. But think about it. 3 years ago, I was broke. I didn't even have money. I didn't have no money. I was living check to check. My mom and dad used to pay my phone bill because I didn't even have money to pay the phone bill. My mom and dad used to pay for the electricity bill, for the cable, for the rent. But guess what? I started to apply this. I started to be grateful for everything that I had. I started to be grateful for the small amounts of money that I had. The bills that I was getting, I started to look at those as checks. I was like, man, look at this $400 check that I'm getting. Let's go. Look at this check that I'm getting. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this $200 check. Thank you that I get to pay this. My perspective on money changed. My perspective on bills changed. This one little adjustment in my life changed so much for me. Seriously. We talk about little breakthrough moments that we had along the journey. One of my breakthrough moments was doing this right here. Was learning the power of being grateful for even the things that you don't have at the time. Look at how roles switched. Look at how the roles switched. I went from my mom and dad paying for my phone bill to me paying for the phone bill. I went from not being able to help my parents with the rent with now being able to help my parents with the rent. I went from my parents taking me out to dinner to now me taking them out to dinner and paying for the bill. I went from my mom and dad giving me money weekly to me sending my mom and dad money weekly. You see how those things changed? Because I changed my perspective. And by law, the money started to flow in. But I had to change. And I know you guys are probably like, Nano, but bro, you don't understand my financial situation. Trust me. Yes, I do. I promise you I do. Maybe some of you guys may have a more difficult one than me or whatever, but trust me when I tell you that I was in a very tough financial. Remember, guys, I never had a job. I've never had a job. I don't know what it's like to have a income at all. So the only thing I ever had was the $20 that my mom and dad would leave me every day as an income. And then it was just pure faith and hope that this business will work out for me. That was the only income I had. Now, luckily, I was living with my parents, so I didn't have to pay any bills. And that's what saved me, thank God. But you got to think about it. I was a 23, 24-year-old man living at my parents' house off of $20 a day and just hoping praying that this business will work for me. That's all I had. You know the amount of faith, the amount of work I had to put in, the amount of inner work that I had to do in silence when nobody was watching in order for me to get myself to believe that I can even live in this strip. I was broke pulling up to Matt Rosa's house. Matt Rosa used to live down the street. I remember running up this street and saying, I'm going to live here. And I was broke pulling up to Matt Rosa's house. I would fly to Matt Rosa's house on my last dollar. I would fly to his house on my last dollar. And you know what I would do? I would fly there just to visualize and say, yo, I'm going to live here one day. And I would literally use his house as manifestation. And I would see myself, wow, I'm so grateful. This is my condo. Yes, thank you. I have more than enough money to pay for this each and every single month. I live on the beach. I live on Collins Avenue. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And next thing you know, a year and a half later, I'm living here. I'm like, yo, look, it happened. It happened. It happened. Because guess what? I was grateful when I had nothing. I was grateful for this. You don't know how many times I was grateful for living here before I actually lived here. Back in my apartment in New York City, I live in a 3-bedroom apartment and I live on the 6th floor. So every day when I had to take the elevator up to the 6th floor, I would always see myself taking my elevator up to my penthouse. And guess what? It happens the exact same way now. I walk in, boom, I get in the elevator, and it takes me right up and it opens up to the apartment. The same way I used to visualize it while I was living in New York in a 3-bedroom apartment in the Heights, the same way it happens now. Family, you can do this. Okay, but you have to be conscious. Look, there's something I always tell people. It's about consciously doing it. You have to consciously do it every single day. You have to consciously catch yourself complaining about money and change it. Because that's what I had to do, guys, to be 100% honest with you guys, right? Like there would be times, and it wasn't like I learned this today and then tomorrow I was perfect. No, it took me like to consciously be like, for example, I learned this, right? And then like, let's say a few days later, I caught myself complaining about the lack of money. Like, man, bro, I'm so mad I don't have the money to pay for this right now. And then I was like, no, 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 no. I can't say that. I can't say that. I'm so grateful I have the money. And like literally in the middle of, bro, it didn't matter if I was in front of people. It didn't matter if there were people to the left, to the right. If I was by myself, I had to consciously stop myself and tell myself the complete opposite because I caught myself complaining. Okay? Complaining. So it's like I said, it's the consciousness, right? Of you seeing it and be like, yo, I just complained about money. I just complained about my bills. I just complained about not having enough money. I just complained. And then when you find yourself complaining, switching it into gratitude. And I know it's hard to be grateful when you don't have what you want, but it's about doing it consciously over a certain period of time. Because think about it, guys. Think about how much times you've complained about money. Let's just this year. Think about how many times you've complained, how many thoughts and how many words you've said about lack of money and complaining about money. Think about that. Now you have to reprogram all of that. Now you gotta feed your mind nothing but positivity and gratitude for the bills. Thousands. Why people the other day I had one of my bros, Travis, he actually asked me, he said, bro, you still have that gratitude rock? I'm like, nah, I actually don't. But I told him I was like, yeah, bro, it's actually something that I should get again because, I had that gratitude rock on me, and I actually got the gratitude rock idea from this book as well, because every time I would reach in my pocket and I would feel the rock, my mind right away would think gratitude because I set the intention that every time I felt the rock in my pocket, okay, practice gratitude. And what are 10 things that I was grateful for? So the moment, like, for example, let's say I was going to buy something and I was going to take out my wallet and then I would feel the rock right there. My mind was programmed to think gratitude, right? It's day 2 on this, right? So boom, I would think gratitude, and right away I'd be like, I'm so grateful for my money. I'm so grateful for God. I'm so grateful for this experience that I'm having. I'm so grateful for the abundance of money flowing into my life. I am so thankful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. Abundance of money is flowing through me. And I would literally have those thoughts over and over and over and over and over and over and over again throughout the days, because there was so many times that I would reach into my pocket for, for my wallet, for this, for my gold card, for all of this stuff. And guess what? Now, during that time, I was able to practice this. I was able to practice this because I needed, remember guys, when you're broke and you're living in low income areas, it's hard to get out of that area, bro. I'm telling you right now, it is so hard because you got to think about it. You are the black sheep in the whole area. Sometimes you're the only one aware of everything that's happening. Everybody around you complains about money. Everybody around you complains about bills. Everybody's living check to check. It's so difficult. I'm telling you, it's difficult because I know what it's like. I lived in Washington Heights. Okay. So I know what it's like for everybody around you, to do the complete opposite of what this book is saying. Because think about it. If we go back to the beginning of the chapter, what does he say? Listen to this. He said, gratitude is riches, complaint is poverty. It's the golden rule of your whole life, whether it's your health, your job, your relationships, or money. The more grateful you can be for the money you have, even if you don't have very much, the more riches you will receive. And the more you complain about money, the poorer you will become. The poorer you will become. Think about our people. Think about our families. Think about the people in our lives. How much do they complain about money? Think about it. Just sit down and really think of, let's, we could be real with each other, right? Think about some of us. Think about some of us, how much we complain about money. We do it ourselves. Neno, me, there's times I catch myself do it sometimes. Still to this day. Still to this day. So I don't want anybody to think, I still do it sometimes. Now, am I more conscious of it and I'm able to switch it and I'm able to realize it? Yes, of course. But remember, it's 25 years that I saw it in my house. My mom complained about the bills. My mom complained about the lack of money and telling me how poor we are and that we're going to die poor and this and that. And bro, 25 years of me hearing that consciously and subconsciously. And my mom saying, all we do is work to pay bills. Put a one in the chat box if this sounds familiar, right? Your parents complaining about the bills and this and that. And bro, regardless of whether you were conscious of it or not, unconsciously, it was being installed into our mind. It was being installed into our mind. It's programmed in us. You know how many seeds have been installed and planted in our mind of poverty and lack of money and bills? And think about it. We catch ourselves doing the same thing now because it's subconscious already. Even when I don't want to, even though I have so much, even still, because it is subconsciously there after hearing my mom and dad do it so many times. All right, you heard if you guys were hearing if you were hearing Robert Kiyosaki right before this, he said we all still have that poor version of ourselves in us, right? Because it's years of programming. Think about that. Before I moved out of my house in New York, it was 25 years. 25. Almost 26 if I'm being honest. I moved out in reality when I was 26, and that's when I first moved out, which was when I moved out to Arizona. And then I moved out to Arizona. I lived out there for some time. I lived out there for like 8 months. And then at 27, I moved here. I moved here to Miami, and now I'm 28, and now I'm moving out. So think about that, guys. In reality, I only have 2 years since I left my parents' house. 2 years. It's a lot of programming that I'm still working to get out of. I'm just grateful that I'm aware. I'm grateful that I've been able to find a vehicle that can help me make more. Is it hard for us? Bro, it's still hard for me. This is a challenge every day, fam. It's just as we grow, the challenges just get a little bit harder. But some of the challenges you guys are facing, I faced those already. I just beat those tests already. I passed those tests already. You guys need to pass them yourself now. Melly, what's good, my sis? I passed them already. I beat those tests because I read these books, right? What did we say the other day? What does Jim Rohn say? Don't wish for less challenge. What do we say? Well, what was it? If you were paying attention, what do we need to wish for? Don't wish for less challenge. Wish for more. Who got it? Let's see who was paying attention the other day. Wish for more wisdom, family. Wish for more wisdom. And what did I just give you guys? More wisdom, right? Think about that. Some of you guys are dealing with financial challenges, right? Nothing wrong with that. That's life. That's the life that we live sometimes. We deal with financial challenges. Guess what? You didn't have to wish for less challenges, okay? Now what you needed to wish for was more wisdom. You wish for more wisdom, now you received it. You got to be aware of that, right? That's why KT gives the story of the preacher and him being the preacher being in a city that's about to go underwater, and they send them the 2 boats, they send them the helicopter, and he misses all 3. And then when he gets to heaven, he's mad at God, like, God, I thought you were going to get me out of the situation. And God is like, you idiot, I send you 2 boats and a helicopter. What do you mean? He just wasn't paying attention. And if you're not paying attention, you can miss the wisdom and the boats and the helicopters that God is sending you. This is an opportunity for you to be like, man, this is an opportunity for me to get out of my situation. Let me finish up what he says, though. What she says. He said, just to repeat it one more time. He says, from this day forward, you could make it your regular practice that whenever you pay a bill, you briefly think about the great service you received from that bill. And right across the face of the bill, the magic words, thank you paid. So like, for example, this morning, right before I jumped on the call, I saw that they had just charged me for my IAM subscription, right? For my subscription for my company. Even though I never complain about it, but now it just made me think about it like, bro, look at all the services that I had access to in the last month because of IAM. Yes, I had to pay, $175 for it. Plus, the package is probably like $200 for it. But look, I had access to educators 7 days a week. I had access to a full educational platform. I had access to applications, scanners, group chats, mentors, people. Look at everything that I had access to. I'm grateful that I even have access to all of that for that such a small amount. You know how grateful I am for that? That's so dope. I got access to the best crypto educators in the world. I have access to the best financial market educators in the world. I have access to it in English and Spanish and any language that I want. Okay, I have access to applications that send me notifications to my phone telling me when to buy and when to sell in the markets. I have scanners that scan the markets for me, tell me what to do. I have a full educational platform. I have group chats where I can communicate with 7 and 8 figure earners. How would I ever complain about having to pay my membership? But people complain. People complain all the time and then wonder why I am doesn't bless them. Why their company doesn't bless them. And I'm just using my company as an example, but it's the same for every company that you guys are a part of. How are you complaining about the fact that you got to pay a subscription or pay for your product when look at everything that your product does for you? Look at everything that that company does for you. I used to see so many people complain like, yo, I got to pay this a month. I'm like, why? What do you mean? Why are you mad that you have to pay less than $200 a month to have access to all of this? How are you complaining about that? You have access to some of the big educators that if it wasn't for them being in the company, they would charge you thousands of dollars for their mentorship. People don't understand that stuff. So many people complain about the littlest things. All the money I've made up until this day was because of the access that the academy gave me. I had a great conversation with my leaders the other day. I told them, yo, money is energy. Your membership is energy. You lack to pay your membership. The business is never, ever, ever going to do anything for you. It doesn't matter how much you do, how much you say you're going to do. If you don't pay that membership, you're not going to receive anything for it. Because like he said right there, Ricardo, when you complain, you disrespect access. So when I see people complain about it, I'm like, bro, you don't understand how much damage you're doing to yourself. When I see people trying to scheme their way around it, like, oh, you know, I'm not gonna pay my membership and I'm gonna stay in the chats. I'm like, that's fine, do it. Bro, you're doing yourself the disservice, not me. You're not doing yourself the disservice, you're doing yourself the disservice. Because if I told you, yo, these new Jordans are coming out and you go and buy them, no problem, and you pay for it, no problem, but then you complain about paying for this, that's the reason why you're not going to succeed. It always catches up to you. I know people that are not successful in this business because they lack paying their membership. Seriously. I know people that would be so much further in business and in life if they just paid their membership. I promise you. Because remember, money is energy. It's a bill. You got to be grateful that you get to pay that because look at all the access it gives you. Look at all the access it gives you. Look at the millionaires, the services, all of the stuffs that you have access to because you paid that bill. Why would you complain about that? Okay. Look, think about this, guys. Some of you don't even got to pay for Mornings with Nano. And you know when it's real, whenever Mornings with Nano gets a price on it, we're gonna know who's really real with Mornings with Nano. Because eventually at one point it's gonna have to switch because people take for granted the things that they get for free. We're gonna see who's really a Mornings with Nano family member or not when there's a price behind it, and see who's really willing to pay for it, who's willing to pay for the access to the information. Because the information that I share here, Bob Proctor charges people 6 figures for the information I give for free here. Can you think? Yo, think about that. It's so crazy. The information that I give you guys for free on this call, there's 6-figure earners paying 6 figures for Bob Proctor to teach it to them. Would pay, God rest his soul. But people would pay 6 figures for the information I give here for free. I've paid 6 figures for the information that I give you guys for free. No cap. Because I've invested so much. All those events, all those trainings, all those conventions, multiple 6 figures, the books. And I give it to you guys here for free. Don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted, family. I'm telling you. This information I give you guys for free right now is cool. But one day people are going to pay me $10,000, $20,000 to just talk to me to give them the same information that I'm giving you guys right now for free. And that's the facts. That's the facts right there. The same information I give you guys for free right now, in the future, there's going to be people that pay me thousands of dollars for it to teach them the same information that I was teaching you guys for free on these calls. And that's true. Well, I don't know when that time is going to be. It could be a year from now. It could be 5 years from now. But people are going to pay me for the information that I know, for the access that I have. That's how it works. Those are stages. These are phases. Remember, what do they teach? You have to learn to work without getting paid so that then you can get paid without work. That's one of the biggest lessons I've learned. Learn to work without getting paid so you can get paid without work. I've worked 3 years on Mornings with Nano without pay. And that's fine. And if I got to work another year, another few months, I'll work it without pay. Doesn't matter because all I'm learning is working without pay. But at one point, that shift has to happen. And then guess what? I'm going to get paid for not as much work. And that's how it works. Work, get paid. Eventually, it's going to be get paid. It's going to be work, get paid. But right now, it's work, get paid. Eventually, it's going to be work, get paid. That's how it works, right? So to finish this up, look at the last paragraph. He says this: feeling gratitude for the money you've paid out guarantees you will receive more. Gratitude is like a magnetic golden thread attached to your money. So when you pay money out, the money always returns to you, sometimes equally, sometimes tenfold, and sometimes even 100-fold. The abundance you receive back depends not on how much money you give, but on how much gratitude you give. You could have so much gratitude when you pay a bill for $50. She says, you could have so much gratitude when you pay a bill for $50 that you could receive back hundreds of dollars. So every bill you pay is not about how much you pay, it's about how grateful you are when you pay it. And then they give us some exercises, right? Look at some of the exercises. The exercises are: count your blessings, make a list of 10 blessings, write why you're grateful, reread your list, and at the end of each blessing, say thank you, and feel as grateful for that blessing as you can. Number 2, take any current unpaid bills you have and use gratitude's magical power and write across each one, thank you for the money, feel grateful for having the money to pay the bill, whether you have it or not. Number 3, take 10 bills you've paid in the past and write across the front of each of them the magic words thank you /paid. Feel truly grateful that you had the money to pay the bill. And number 4, before you go to sleep, take your magic rock in one hand and say the magic words thank you for the best thing that happened to me during the day. This is so powerful. So powerful right here. Very, very powerful. Great stuff. Yeah, I'll post it in the chat, the exercises. Magic money. Listen to this right here. It says, whoever has gratitude for money will be given more, and she or he will have abundance. Whoever does not have gratitude for money, even what she or he has will be taken from him or her. Wow. Let me repeat it again. Whoever has gratitude for money will be given more, and he or she will have an abundance. Whoever does not have gratitude for money, even what she or he has will be taken from her or him. Feeling grateful for money when you have very little is challenging for anyone. But when you understand that nothing will change until you're grateful, you will be inspired to do it. The subject of money can be tricky one for many people, especially when you don't have enough. So there are 2 steps to the magic money practice. It's important that you read through the entire practice of magic money at the beginning of the day, because you will need to continue to the money practice throughout the day. Bro, be grateful that you have money to pay for food. Be grateful that you have money to buy your kids toys. Be grateful that you have money to pay for gas. You got to be grateful for all of this stuff, guys. Learn the power of gratitude. Gratitude, the magic rock. So powerful. So much that we could talk about here today, but be grateful for this stuff. Be grateful for this stuff. This is the key right here. You want to be able to put yourself in a position to, if we want to be neighbors here, we got to be grateful for the money we have right now. Because in order for us to live there, it's going to cost us a few $1,000,000. And if you want to rent it, it's going to cost you at least $20,000-$25,000 a month, which is what some people make a year. So think about that. 2 months living there will cost you at least $50K. For the year, you're looking at almost $1,000,000 a year to live there. It's the facts. To live where I'm living right now, it costs 6 figures a year. It costs 6 figures a year to live where I live right now. For me to live where I'm living right now, 50 floors up on the beach in Miami, it costs 6 figures a year that have to be paid out. And we've paid it. I literally just did the math yesterday. I was like, bro, we've paid out 6 figures to live here the last year, to live on this strip, to have access to everything that we have. But think about it. We have access to high vibrations. We have access to multiple pools. We have access to restaurants, spa. We have access to a sauna, a steam room, game room, you name it, we got it. We walk outside. We have full security. We have our own thing in here. Beach, coconut mojitos, steak on the beach. Like, you name it, we got it. But guess what? It costs 6 figures for us to live here. But I'd rather pay for the access to everything and live in abundance, because this is the life that we're going to live and we're going to continue to live. My mind has expanded. It can never go back. I can never go back. My mind has expanded. This is all I know now. This is all I want to do now. Facts. We rub shoulders with rich folks. People in this building look at us and they're like, how are these young kids living here? How is it possible that these young kids are living here? Because these people work their whole lives to live here, and we're doing it when we're in our 20s. They work their whole lives to retire here, and we're doing it in our 20s. Your environment is the biggest investment you will ever make. Investing into your environment. I promise you that. That's why I love this right here. I love what I do. Love what I do. So you guys got to remember this, but you got to, before we can even thinking about getting an apartment or condo here, we got to find out how to be grateful for the $200 phone payment we got to make. We got to be grateful for the $1,000 rent we got to pay. Because if you can't learn how to be grateful for $1,000 or $2,000 rent payment, how are you going to be grateful for a $25,000 rent payment? And I know that's crazy to even think about sometimes, because it's just so far. Like they say, it hasn't even reached your radar yet. It's not part. It maybe not even a part of your radar yet to even think that you can pay $25,000 for a rent. Think about that. Imagine every month you have to come out of pocket $25K just for rent, just for rent, just for your rent. And if you have a $25,000 rent, that means you're driving a nice car, which means that's an extra $3,000-$4,000 in just the car. That's not including food, transportation. You're looking at about a $35,000 lifestyle in just expenses. So if you're paying out $35,000 in just expenses, you got to be thinking about it. You got to be making at least a solid 80 to 100 bands a month. Easy. And that's why my goal is, I am so happy and grateful now that I'm earning 100 bands a month. Right? That's one of my goals. Right? Because I know that only when I get to that requirement can I live that life that I want to live. That's why I'm making all the crypto investments, NFT investments. I'm looking to get into so many different things, real estate here, cars, you name it, Airbnb, the whole nine. Because the way I look at it is, I'm not going to have to pay the $25,000 out of pocket. I'm going to build the business that earns me $25,000 a month that'll help me pay for the rent. That's how I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, what business can I build outside of the business that I'm doing right now that can help me earn an extra, $15,000 to $20,000 a month that I can use as, let's say I start a car rental business, right? And I got a car rental business that's helping me make $15,000, $20,000 a month. My car rental business pays for my rent. I'm lit. I live in luxury due to the fact that my car rental business is running it up. Let's say I have an Airbnb business that's making me $20,000, $25,000 a month. Perfect. My Airbnb business helps me pay for my rent here. And you know what, guys? Believe it or not, sometimes renting apartments is better than buying because there's no attachment. I don't have no attachment to it. I rent it for a year and I move on to the next. And I feel like that's how I'm going to live for the first few years of my life, especially for the next few years of my life, until I feel comfortable enough to finally be like, you know what, let me buy a spot. I'm still young. I have no kids. I'm going to do it now while I can. Now that I can, I know some of you guys got kids. It's a little different for you guys, but for me, I got to do it like this now. Because when I have kids, all of that, now you got to be more stable. You got to have a spot, long term, get a house, the whole nine, family, everything. But in the meantime, I'm going to travel the world. I'm going to live 1 month here, another month there, another 1 year here, another year there. Live it up. Live it up. It's a phase. And then there'll be a phase where Nano's a dad and Nano's at home. But guess what? I'll be living in something like that, which is dope. But it's because I was grateful for the money I have now. I was grateful for the small amounts I had in the past. So type a 3 in the chat box if you guys got good value from that. Great value from that. That was awesome right there. That was great training. Man, that was dope. Great training. Make sure that from this point moving forward, you never complain about a bill. You never complain about having to pay for anything, for any lack of money. Never, ever complain, guys. Do not complain about it. Be grateful for all of it, because trust me, that's what it's all about. All right, fam. So I know we all needed this. Even I needed this. I needed to hear that as well. Because even though, like, I'm like, man, even though we have money, is like, even though sometimes I'm like, man, I don't want to pay for that right now. I'd rather not. Even though I could pay for it and I have more than enough left, but it's like, even though sometimes is that poor person in me, right? Is that is that old version of me still in me, like, nah, bro, like I don't want to pay for that, like, but you gotta do it. And I needed to hear a lot of that stuff too as well. So it was a great training for me as well. So thank you guys so much for hopping on. I'm glad we had a great call. Tomorrow we have our last day of the week on Mornings with Nano. I hope you guys been getting value from this whole entire week. And trust me, we're going to bring some more fire tomorrow. Quick prayer before we go. Yes. As a matter of fact, let me tell you guys something. My sis, Vern, right? One of the best people in the world, right? She's literally the best person in the world. She and it's not to put her business out there or anything, but she's about to do something very, very big, like a dream like location, Malibu, overlooking the ocean. And I'm just grateful that I already have a room in her house with my name on it, because we really, really family. Like, Vern is really my family, and she's doing such big things, and I'm just so grateful for her. And she jumps on Mornings with Nano every morning, and she's like up. She's up like 5 a.m. You know what I'm saying? So, she's on these calls daily, and to see that they're starting to build their houses and their dream house, in Malibu, overlooking the ocean on the Pacific Coast Highway. Man, that is beautiful, and it's so dope, because that's my family. And I've been able to build a really good relationship with her over the last 2 years, and it's just so awesome. She always opens her house for me, and when we were out in Cali and the rental thing fell through, she was the one that lent us her car to drive up to San Francisco, drive back. And just a really, really incredible person all the way around. That's really my sister, and I'm so grateful to see my family win the way that she's winning, so that's awesome. So shout out to Vern. Love you, family. Thank you for everything. Can't wait to pull up to my room. And I know you said, like, you always tell me, like, Nano, we're gonna be neighbors, right? You're not even gonna need the room at my house, because we're gonna be neighbors. So, and that's the truth though. But if just in case I don't have, the crib next to you, I still need that room, sis. So make sure that there's a room for me. All right, fam. So quick prayer before we go. I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Quick prayer. Everybody bow your heads. Let's pray. Father God, thank you so much for blessing us with this beautiful day filled with your abundance and your grace. We are so thankful for you and everything that you continue to provide for us each and every single day. We had a very powerful training today about the power of gratitude instead of complaining for the things that we have. And, the first thing we want to do is we want to ask for forgiveness, and we want to apologize if we ever complained about bills and access to information and access to anything in general. We want to apologize ahead of time, and know that now that we are aware of this information, we are only going to be grateful for all that we have. Even if it's just a small amount that we have, even if it's just a little bit of things that we have, we are going to be grateful, because in order for us to get more from you, God, we got to be grateful for the small amounts that we do have. So we understand that on a deeper level than we did in the past, and we are just extremely thankful for that as well. We want to send a lot of prayers to Jason Brown and his family. His dad just passed, and we want to send them a lot of strength, a lot of just love, a lot of prayers during this time. I know it's going to be a very, very tough time for them, but he's definitely in a better place. You took him with you. He fought hard, and it was just his time. And we don't question you at all, God. And we continue to pray for his family during these times, because we definitely know they're going to need it. And we pray for anyone else who needs it during this time. So we love you so much, God. We never question anything that you do. We appreciate you for everything. We are so grateful for you and everything that you're doing for us each and every single day. We pray that you continue to guide us, bless us, and give us the wisdom that we need to become the best versions of ourselves. So we love you and we appreciate you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. 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 All right. So, amen. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys a lot, and I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your day. Send prayers to the Browns. They're gonna need it, and it's just a tough time for them. And I know how it can be with those kind of things. As a matter of fact, I don't know how it could be, because thankfully, I haven't been able to experience something of that magnitude, but we still pray for them each and every single day. And I know that our prayers helped a lot over the last few weeks, and gave them a few days and a few more days of life, which is the most beautiful thing. And, we got to be grateful. So, we love you guys so much. We appreciate you guys so much. And, we pray that, everybody has a blessed day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode. God bless, fam. Love you.